what is up, and welcome back to my channel. If you're trying to lose a few pounds and you feel like you're hitting a wall and you're not breaking through, make sure you watch this entire video because I'm gonna go over my top 7 mistakes that I made during my weight loss journey of losing 40 pounds, and I'm gonna share all the details with you. Now, I understand, guys, that everyone's journey is different, and maybe I am where I am today and I was able to lose over 40 pounds because of all of the mistakes that I made in the past. So I'm not asking you to follow every single advice that I share in this video. I'm simply sharing my own experience during the past few years, and I hope that you guys can relate to some of them. By the way, guys, if you don't know me, my name is Seppi, and after losing 40 pounds, I've become so passionate about nutrition that I made this whole channel dedicated to it. So if you're interested in this kind of topic, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button, and follow for more videos. My biggest mistake during my weight loss journey was pretty much fasting and not eating enough. The tricky thing with this thing is that when you start eating less, you will see that the number on the scale is going to start going down. But that doesn't mean that you're losing wealth in the healthiest way. Why? Because the first thing your body is going to burn is glycogen, which is stored in your muscles, and then it's going to lose water along with it, and then it's going to tap into fat, and then it's going to tap into skeletal muscle tissue. So if you don't give it food, if you don't give it glycogen and fat, your body is going to start breaking down muscle tissues. So these could be your skeletal muscles or even your organ tissues, which is what you don't want. And on top of all of this, if you're starving your body's going to hold on to fat so it can use it later for energy. And guess what? The first thing you're gonna eat, it could be the smallest piece of whole grain bread with avocado. It's gonna turn all of it into fat cells, so it stores it just in case you decide to starve it again tomorrow. It can dip into those fat cells and use it for energy. So when I started thinking like that, I started switching my mindset from food making me fat to food as something that's going to energize me and nourish my body. So I started changing my mentality and I started having smaller meals throughout the day, and that's what really worked for me. I really like eating, so I feel like every couple hours I'm gonna have a small meal and it makes me feel good, energized, not too full and not too hungry. The second biggest mistake that I made during my weight loss journey was quitting carbs and sugar cold turkey. Now guys, let me know in the comments if you guys can relate to this, but this was a regular thing for me. For example, on a Sunday when I was stuffed with all the bad food that I had over the weekend, I would decide that as of Monday, I'm gonna have a low carb diet, I'm gonna cut out sugar, and I would feel motivated and energized. So I would wake up in the morning and I would be motivated, I would cut out sugar, and I would be on a very low carb diet, and that would actually make me lose a couple of pounds. But then I would start having headaches, I would be in a bad mood, I would have anxiety, and I was just not feeling really great. So that led me to going back to carbs all of a sudden and stuffing my face with anything I could find after a month or two. And I would obviously gain all of the weight back. So this wasn't really working for me. This was a vicious cycle that it was never ending, and I knew I had to get out of it. Now, if you guys have seen any of my videos before, like this one, you know that I'm against quitting sugar and I'm all for replacing it. Make sure you check this out. I will share strategies on how I actually was able to replace sugar and what I actually replaced it with, and how I was able to quit sugar and stay sugar free for the past 3 years. My third biggest mistake actually happened at the gym. Now, one thing I did right was that I got a trainer to teach me all the different moves, so I knew the proper way to squat and I knew the proper way to work out and build muscles. But one thing that I really wish I applied before I started lifting weight was to work on my mobility and my flexibility. One thing I overlooked is that I thought if I worked out just as hard as these athletes, I'm going to look like them. But that's not the way it works, because I had a lot of imbalances on my hip. My hip is completely rotated. I had a problem with my shoulder, and when I worked out and I started lifting really heavy weights with these imbalances, it kind of got them worse. So if I had the knowledge before, I would for sure focus on my mobility and flexibility before or while I was working out. My next mistake was avoiding rest days. So I started spending a lot of time at the gym. I would train legs 3-4 times a week. Even when I was sore, it didn't matter. I would just push through it. Now I realize it would have been so much better if I gave my body the time to rest and recover. And that would actually give me much more energy to fuel my workouts after my rest days. Now the next mistake that I made was that I wasn't eating enough. It's very similar to an earlier point that I mentioned, but this is a different perspective to look at the same point. If you have more than 10 pounds to lose, like I did, you have to be really careful about how you manage your calories. So I would make this mistake repeatedly. Every time I would go on a diet, I would cut down my calories by 1,500, 1,000 calories, and I would lose weight up to 10 pounds and I would hit a wall. It would stop right there. And then I would wonder, I'm working out harder, I'm eating the same calories, I was losing weight a couple months ago, why did it stop? And then I would just lose motivation, I would go back to eating badly again. Then I realized I need to strategize this a little better. So I started using the app MyFitnessPal to actually track my macros to understand how much calories I'm consuming in a day. So for example, if I was consuming 3,000 calories a day, I would cut it down to 2,800 and I would keep at it until I stopped losing weight. And then I would cut it down another 200 calories to 2,600 and I keep at it until I stop losing weight. Even if it takes 3 months, I would still stick to that 2,600. And because I was able to stick to this strategy, I was able to keep losing weight. My next mistake was having unrealistic expectations. Guys, I went on the scale every single morning and I always had a weight goal in mind, and I would always ask myself and ask people around me, when do you think am I gonna hit that weight? You will see your weight going up and down because your body is gonna gain muscles, it's gonna lose water, it's gonna lose fat, it's gonna gain fat and water. It's just gonna be up and down on the scale. So if you focus too much on that, you're gonna lose motivation. Imagine you're working so hard and you go on the scale and you see the number going up. It's because you gain muscle, but you think you're just getting fatter. And that's just gonna play mind games with you. You're gonna lose your motivation and you're gonna have a burger. So if I had one advice, is to don't worry about the number on the scale. Worry about your mood and energy. See how you're feeling when you wake up in the morning. If you're feeling great, that means that everything you're giving your body is working. Now you might be sore, but if you're feeling energized and you feel like lighter and you feel healthier, that's a good sign, right? So take that and continue with your journey. My last and maybe my most important mistake was to actually thinking that I was gonna change overnight. I feel like I expected myself to wake up one morning and become this athletic person who doesn't eat sugar and who's really on point with her diet. It never worked like that. I was a normal human being who enjoyed a lot of bad food. And in order to switch to the person I was today, I couldn't just do that overnight. I had to start adding smaller habits. If you're interested in that, I actually made a video that I'm gonna list over here for you, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Make sure you click on that and learn how to create new habits. Creating new habits are really hard, especially about your diet. How many people do you know that have actually lost weight and have been able to maintain it? It's one of the hardest things that you could do in life. A lot of people go to army and they're very disciplined and come back and gain weight. What does that tell you? Losing weight and keeping it off is one of the hardest things I've done in my entire life, and I've talked to a lot of people and they feel the same way. So don't underestimate it. Take your time, take it easy. Make sure you watch a lot of videos, inform yourself, and make sure you create habits that will last for you a lifetime, as opposed to losing 10 pounds today and gaining it back tomorrow. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and you found it useful. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and that will motivate me so much to make more awesome videos for you. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.